So welcome to Everything Computerized. I am CA, and in this video we are going to learn about operators in SQL. This video is going to be very important, so I recommend you to watch this video till end. So let's get started. In the previous video we learnt about the select command and the brief of the where clause. In this video we are going to learn about operators, the types of operators and their practical implementation in MySQL. So if we are having some values and we want a specific operation or result from those values, then we make use of operators. Operators are used for specifying a condition on something to generate a specific result. Like if we write 2 plus 3, then plus is an operator specified on 2 and 3 to generate a result that is 5. And the condition that this operator is specifying on 2 and 3 is addition. Similarly, there are many other operators which perform different types of operations. The values on which the operators work are called operands. So in 2 plus 3, 2 and 3 are called operands on either side of the operator plus. Also, the combination of the operators and its operands is known as an expression. So, in 2 plus 3 is equals to 5, 2 plus 3 is called the expression which has the value 5. Hence, operators operate on operands to give result. I think you have understood what operators and operands are. Let's take a look at their definition. An operator is a symbol that tells the compiler or interpreter to perform specific mathematical, relational or logical operation to produce a desired result. So, in 2 plus 3 is equals to 5, plus is the operator operated on 2 and 3. An operand is an object which is operated upon by any operator to produce a result. So 2 and 3 are known as operands for the operator plus. An expression is a combination of one or more operators and operands which together produce a meaningful result. So in 2 plus 3 is equals to 5, 2 plus 3 as a whole is known as an expression. One thing you need to note at this point is that every operator has its own type of operands on which it can operate. They cannot operate on all types of operands. Like the subtraction operator can only operate on numbers and dates, but not on objects like character. Also, the platform on which you are working affects the working of the operators. Like in MySQL, plus operator can be used for numbers, but in some other languages like Python, plus can also be used for other non-numeric types of operands. We are going to focus only on SQL. So all of the information which I'll provide will be in reference to SQL and most preferably MySQL. So let's now take a look at the different types of operators based on their operation or the work they do. So basically there are 4 types of operators: arithmetic operators, comparison operators, bitwise operators and logical operators. So let's now understand what arithmetic operators are. So arithmetic operators are used for mathematical calculations. There are basically 5 arithmetic operators in SQL. The first one is the addition operator. It gives the sum of the operands. The subtraction operator gives the difference of its operands. The multiplication operator gives the product of its operands. The division operator gives the quotient of the expression. So the first operand divided by the second operand is the answer given by this division operator. Now the last one is the modulo operator. This one is a special one and I think some of you might not have heard about this previously. So modulo operator gives the remainder when the first operand is divided by the second operand. So in this case we are using 5 and 3 as its operands. So 5 modulo 3 gives 2. So when 5 is divided by 3, we get a remainder that is 2. So this is what modulo operator gives. Let's now take a look at this in practical. So open my SQL command line client and write select and then the expression for which you want to have the result. For this to work, you don't need to specify any database or any table, and you can just have the answers by using the select command and directly the expression. So I will write select 5 plus 3, and when I press enter, it gives a result set which consists of a single column and a single row, and this is the value of the expression 5 plus 3. So the column is 5 plus 3, which has the answer, or you can say the result, as 8. Don't forget to insert a semicolon at the end, because this is very mandatory no matter which type of SQL or which type of statement you are writing. You can write any type of expression here. So if I write select 53 plus 49, then I'll get the sum of those numbers, that is 102. Let's now write an expression containing the subtraction operator. So everything is exactly the same, you just need to replace the plus operator with the subtraction operator. So I'll write select 5 minus 3, and you can see that we got the result as 2, which is correct. Like this, you can get any result by using the different combinations of the operators and operands. Let's now use the multiplication operator. For the multiplication operator, you need to use an asterisk mark between the operands. Let's now take a look at the division operator. So you need to use a slash for the division operator. Let's now take a look at the modulo operator. So for that, you need to use a percentage sign. So our first expression is 5 modulo 3, and when we run this command, we get 2. So when 5 is divided by 3, then the remainder we get is 2. Let's take another example. So I'll write select 53 modulo 49, and this will give the result as 4. So as you can tell that when 53 is divided by 49, we get a remainder as 4. Now let's take another example. So we are going to take 10 modulo 2. I want you to pause this video at this point and think about the answer that it is going to return at this point. So when we run this statement, we get 0, because 10 is completely divisible by 2. So we will get remainder as 0. Let's now write select 11 modulo 23. Pause the video and think about the answer. So the answer for this statement will be 11, because 11 is not at all divisible by 23. So the only remainder we are going to get is 11 itself. Let's take some decimal numbers. So for this we will write select 23.956 modulo 10.234. Pause the video and think about it. So the answer MySQL is giving for this particular expression is 3.488. Why this is happening? This is because it is taking 10.234 as a divisor and 23.956 as the dividend, and it is dividing exactly the same like we were getting for the previous expressions, and then we are getting some remainder because 23.956 is not divisible by the second operand, that is 10.234. So we get some remainder, and that remainder is equals to 3.488. You can check it out, or you can verify it by yourself by calculating and doing simple math. You can take negative numbers also. So if I write select minus 12.5 modulo 2, then it's gonna give minus 0.5 as its remainder. Let's write minus 10.78 modulo minus 3.568, then it is going to return minus 0.076 as its answer. You can always have different experiments with different values, and if you have any doubts, then you can always ask me with the help of the comments or Instagram DMs. I think arithmetic operators is clear to you. Let's now move on to our next operator type, that is the comparison operator. So comparison operators are used to compare the operands and they give the result of the expression in true and false. And there are basically 6 comparison operators supported in SQL. The first one is the equals to operator. So this compares the operands and checks whether they are equal to each other or not, and if they are equal then it gives true value, that is 5 equals to 5 is true, then it will give true as its answer. The second one is the greater than operator. It compares the operands and checks if the first operand is greater than the second operand, and if it is true then it returns true as the answer. Like in this expression we are having 5 greater than 4, and we all know that this is a true statement, then we are getting true as its answer. Now the third one is the less than operator. It checks that the first operand is less than the second operand. The fourth one is the greater than or equals to operator. It checks that the first operand is greater than the second operand or it is equal to the second operand. So if we take the first operand always greater or equal to the second operand, then this expression is going to return true. Like 5 greater than or equals to 5 is always true because both the operands are same, and also if the first operand would have been greater than the second operand, then also this statement would be true, and if the second operand is greater than the first operand, then this will return false. The fifth operator is the less than or equals to operator, and this gives true if the first operand is less than or equal to the second operand. The last one or the sixth one is the not equals to operator, and it is the opposite of the equals to operator that is present at the top. So what this gives is when the two operands are not equal to each other, that is they are unequal, then only it will give true. Like 5 not equals to 3, this will give true, but if we write 5 not equals to 5, then it will give false. There are two signs that you can use. You can either use the two angular brackets or you can use the exclamation equals to. Both are technically same. You can use any of them. One more thing that you need to keep in mind at this point is that whenever the answer is true, it is represented by 1, and whenever the answer is false, it is represented by a 0. So whenever you run any comparison expression or any other expression which contains values in true and false or which returns values in true and false, then always make sure that true is represented by 1. So in place of true, it is always going to be 1, and in place of false, it is always going to be a 0. Don't confuse them as numbers. They are not numbers, they are Boolean values represented in the form of numbers. Let's now take a look at the comparison operator implementation on MySQL. I'll write select 5 is equals to 5, and you can see that the answer is 1. This is because, as I have already told you, that true is represented by 1 and false is represented by 0. So 5 is equals to 5 will give a true value, so it returns 1, which is a true value. Let's write 5 is equals to 4. You can see that the answer is 0. This means the answer is false. So 5 is equals to 4 is a false statement, so it returns a 0. Let's write 5 is greater than 4, and you can see that the answer is 1, that is true. Let's write 5 is greater than 10. So you can see that the answer is 0, that is false. Similarly, we can use the other operators also. You can see that 5 not equals to 3 gives true value. You can use both the symbols, they are exactly the same. I hope you have understood how comparison operator works. Let's now move on to our next operator, that is bitwise operator. So bitwise operators compare each bit of the first operand to the corresponding bit of the second operand and produce a final result. To be precise, everything in a computer language is a binary, and a binary number consists of zeros and ones. These zeros and ones are called bits, and combination of zeros and ones, that is bits, make up a binary number. So each digit in a binary number is a bit. Suppose we take 5, then in binary 5 is 101. There 101 is a binary number and it has 3 bits, and the bitwise operators operate on each bit of the operand. So if 5 was an operand, then 101 will be its binary and 10 and 1 will be operated upon by the bitwise operator. Hence, bitwise operators convert its operands in binary, operate on the bits, and the final binary result is converted back into human readable form. I think you might have got an idea of how the bitwise operators work. If you have read Boolean algebra previously, then it would be easier for you to understand bitwise operators. And if not, then you can have a look at it later and then resume this video from this point. So basically there are 3 bitwise operators present in SQL. These are bitwise AND operator, bitwise OR operator, and bitwise exclusive OR operator. The bitwise AND operator performs the logical AND operation on the corresponding bits of the operands, like 59 and 47 gives 43. The bitwise OR operator performs the logical OR operation on the corresponding bits of the operands, like 59 or 47 gives 63. The bitwise exclusive OR performs the logical XOR operation, or you can say the logical exclusive OR operation on the corresponding bits of the operands. So 59 XOR 47 gives 20. Let's take a look at how these all work. So let's first understand the working of the bitwise AND operator. So 59 and 47 are converted into their corresponding binary equivalents, and then all the corresponding bits are compared and a result is generated. So we will start from the end. So 1 and 1 becomes 1, 1 and 1 becomes 1, 0 and 1 becomes 0, 1 and 1 becomes 1, 1 and 0 becomes 0, and 1 and 1 becomes 1. So this is our final result in binary, which is again converted back into its decimal equivalent, which is 43. So 59 and 47 gives 43. So let's take a look at it in practical. So I'll write select 59 ampersand 43, and when I press enter, I get the result as 43. So as I have explained, the operands are converted into their binary equivalents, and then their bits are compared one by one, and then the result is converted again back into the decimal equivalent. Let's take a look at another example. So I'll write select 32 ampersand 16. When I press enter, it is giving the result as 0. So let's take a look at its explanation. So 32 and 16 are converted into their binary equivalents. So 32 is 1 and 5 times 0, and 16 is 1 and 4 times 0. As you can see that 16 has less number of bits as compared to 32. So we will add zeros at the start of the binary of 16. So it becomes 0, 1 and then 4 zeros again. So this is our final binary for both of them. Now when we perform AND operation, then you can see that none of the bits are common in terms of 1. So the AND operation on each of the corresponding bits gives 0, and hence the final result is 0. Like this, you can experiment upon it by using different values and verifying the result by yourself. Let's now take a look at the working of the bitwise OR operator. So as usual, 59 and 47 are converted into their binary equivalents, and the corresponding bits are operated upon by the logical OR operation. So beginning from the last, 1 or 1 becomes 1, 1 or 1 becomes 1, 0 or 1 becomes 1, 1 or 1 becomes 1, 1 or 0 becomes 1, and then 1 or 1 becomes 1. So this is the final binary result, which is again converted back into 63. Let's now take a look at it in practical. So I will write select 59 or 47. The symbol which you need to use here is pipe symbol. So pipe symbol represents OR. So I have written select 59 pipe 47, and when I press enter, it gives result as 63 as mentioned previously. Now let's take an example for another expression. So I will write select 32 pipe 16. This gives the result as 48. Let's now take a look at how we are getting 48 for this case. So as usual, 32 and 16 are converted into their binary equivalents, and as 16 has less bits as compared to 32, we are going to add an extra 0 at the start of the binary representation of the 16. So now we are going to perform the OR operation on each of the corresponding bits from the end. So 0 or 0 becomes 0, 0 or 1 becomes 1, 1 or 0 becomes 1. So this is our final binary result, and which is converted back into 48 as the final answer. So 32 or 16 gives 48. This is how the bitwise OR operator works. Let's now take a look at the bitwise XOR operation. So again the same thing, 59 and 47 are converted into their binary equivalents, and now each of the corresponding bits of both the numbers, or you can say the binary numbers, are performed by XOR operator. So starting from the end, 1 XOR 1 will give 0. This is an XOR operation, and if you have read Boolean algebra, then you would be knowing what this is. So 1 XOR 1 becomes 0, 1 XOR 1 becomes 0, 0 XOR 1 becomes 1, 1 XOR 1 becomes 0, 1 XOR 0 becomes 1, and 1 XOR 1 becomes 0. So this is our final binary result, which in decimal form is 20. So let's take a look at it in practical. So I will write select 49 XOR 47. The symbol for XOR is the caret symbol. So the caret represents XOR operator. So we'll write select 59 XOR 47, and the result is 20. So as I have explained you previously how this 20 comes, you all know. Let's now take a look at another expression. So I'll write select 32 XOR 16, and so when I press enter, we are getting 48 as answer. Let's now take a look at how we are getting 48 as the result. So exactly the same procedure, 32 and 16 are converted into their binary equivalents, and as 16 has less number of bits as compared to 32, so we add an extra 0 at the start, and now each of the corresponding bits are done XOR operation. So 0 XOR 0 becomes 0, and likewise the others. Then 0 XOR 1 will be 1, and 1 XOR 0 will be 1, and so this is the final binary result we are getting. And so this binary number converted into decimal gives 48. So this is how the XOR operators work, bitwise XOR operator work. So I think you are clear with the concept of the bitwise operators. I recommend you all to study Boolean algebra before watching this video from the bitwise operator section. In order to understand bitwise operators perfectly, you need to experiment upon it by using different values and then verifying it by yourself. This is the most efficient way in order to learn something, that is to practice yourself and practice more and more. Let's now move on to our next operator type, that is logical operators. So logical operators are used to connect two or more Boolean expressions such that the result of the compound expression depends on the results of the original expressions and on the meaning of the operator. The results given by the logical operator expressions are in true or false, and as mentioned earlier, true is represented by 1 and false is represented by 0. To be clear, Boolean expressions are those expressions which give values in either true or false, and there is no other answer we can get from those expressions. Any expression which consists of the comparison operators or the logical operators is considered to be a Boolean expression. So the comparison operators comprise of the Boolean expressions, and also the logical operators comprise of the Boolean expressions. Now coming back to the logical operators, there are many logical operators present in SQL, but some of the most important and widely used logical operators are and, or, not, like, and between. So these 5 logical operators are very important. So you need to know these 5 at least. So let's understand these all operators one by one. So the first one is the AND logical operator. This AND operator is different from the bitwise AND operator. So there is not at all any relationship between this and that AND. So don't get confused by their names. The AND logical operator connects two expressions and the final result is true only when both Boolean expressions have a true value. Otherwise, it will give a false value. Like 4 is not equal to 6 and 12 is greater than 6. These two Boolean expressions are connected by the logical AND operator. So 4 is not equal to 6 will give a true value, and also 12 greater than 6 will give true. And as these two are true, the final result of the compound expression will be true, and otherwise it will be false. Let's now take a look at the logical AND operator in MySQL. So I will write the statement select 4 is not equal to 6 and 12 is greater than 6. And when I press enter, it is giving the result as 1, that is true. So as 4 is not equal to 6 is a true expression, and also 12 is greater than 6 is also a true expression. So both of them being true give us a true value when operated by the logical AND operator. Let's now take a look at a different expression. So I will write 4 is equals to 6 and 12 is greater than 6. Pause the video and think about the answer it will give. So the answer given by this expression is 0, that is false. This is because 4 is equals to 6 is a false expression. So the final result given by the AND logical operator is a false. Because for AND logical operator to give a true value, both of the expressions on its either sides should give a true value. Then only the value of the AND logical expression will be true. But as we are getting a false value in the first expression, then the answer we are getting as the final result is 0. Let's now take a look at a different expression. So I'll write 5 is greater than equals to -2 and 87 is less than -87. Pause the video and think about the answer. So the answer given by this particular expression is false. This is because the first statement, that is 5 is greater than equal to -2, is a true value because 5 is greater than -2. But the second expression, that is 87 less than -87, is a false expression because -87 is less than 87, not 87 is less than -8. So the final result of this logical AND expression is false. Let's now take a look at another example. So I will write select 5 and -10. Pause the video here and think about the answer. So when I press enter, the answer given by this particular expression is 1. But you can notice here at this point that both of the expressions on the either side of the AND operator is not a Boolean expression. So we have given just two numbers, that is 5 and -10. But this is giving a true value. Why? Because 5 and -10 both are non-zero values, that is both have some value other than 0, and so if they are converted or thought about in the Boolean expression logic, then they both are true values because they are not zero. And so when we write a non-zero value and a non-zero value, we get a non-zero value, and so this is why we are getting a true value here. Like this we can write another expression. So we will write select 0 and 10. So when we press enter, we get a value as 0. This is because we have given two values, one of them is 0 and one of them is a non-zero value. And as 0 is represented as a false value in Boolean, so this particular expression will be executed as false and true, and so the final result is a false, that is a 0 value. So every non-zero value is treated as a true in Boolean and every 0 value is treated as a false in Boolean. So I think you have understood how logical operators work, and especially the AND operator. Let's now take a look at the OR logical operator. The working of the OR logical operator is similar to that of the logical AND operator. It will also take two Boolean expressions on its either side, and the final result is generated by the values given by those two Boolean expressions. But the difference of the OR operator from the AND operator is that at least one of the two Boolean expressions should give a true value for the final result to be a true. So we have two Boolean expressions on its either side. So if any one of them gives a true value, then the final result will also be a true value. So we have 5 greater than 4 or 10 is equals to 6. Here you can see that 5 greater than 4 is a true Boolean expression, but 10 is equals to 6 is a false expression. But then also the OR operator will give a true value because it requires at least one expression to be true for the answer to be true, unlike the AND operator which required both of the expressions to be true. If you have read Boolean algebra, then it will be easier for you to understand these things. Let's now take a look at the OR logical operator in MySQL. So I will write the expression select 5 greater than 4 or 10 is equals to 6, and when I press enter, it gives 1, that is a true result. This is because 5 greater than 4 is a true Boolean expression and 10 is equals to 6 is a false expression, but OR logical operators requires at least one of the expressions to be true. So we have 5 greater than 4 as true, and so the final result is 1 or 0, that is 1. Let's take a look at another example. So I will write 5 greater than 4 or 10 is not equals to 6. Pause this video here and think about the answer it will give. So when I press enter, it gives the result as 1, that is true. This is because 5 greater than 4 is a true Boolean expression and 10 not equals to 6 is also a true expression, and as we required at least one of the Boolean expressions to be true for the OR logical operator to work, but we are getting both of the expressions as true, so the final result will also be 1, that is 1 or 1 is 1. Let's now take a look at another example. So I'll write the expression 5 less than equals to 1 or minus 100 is equals to 100. Pause the video and think about the answer. So when I press enter, I get the answer as false, that is 0. This is because the first expression, that is 5 less than equals to 1, is false, and also minus 100 is equals to 100 is also a false expression. But for the OR logical operator to work, we required at least one of the Boolean expressions to be true, but in here we are getting both of them as false, so the final result is also a false. Let's now take a look at another example. So I will write select 5 or minus 4. Pause the video here and think about the answer. So when I press enter, it gives the result as 1, that is true. This is because 5 and -4, both of them are non-zero values, and so both of them are represented as true. So we get true or true as true, that is 1 or 1 as 1. Let's now take another example. So I'll write select 5 or 0. So when I press enter, I get the answer as 1, that is true. This is because 5 is a non-zero value, that is true, and 0 is a zero value, that is false. So for our logical operator to work, we required at least one of the Boolean expressions to be true, and as we are getting 5 as a true, so we are getting the final answer as true, that is 1. Let's now take another example. So I'll write select 0 or 0. Pause the video here and think about the answer. So we get the answer as 0, that is false. This is because both of the expressions we are getting, they are zero values, and so 0 or 0 we get 0, that is false or false we get as false. And for logical or operator to work, we required at least one of the Boolean expressions to be true, but as we are giving both of them as false, or you can say 0, we are getting the final result as 0. I think you have understood how the logical OR operator works. Let's now move on to our next logical operator, that is the NOT operator. The logical NOT operator is a bit different from the other logical operators. It just needs a single Boolean expression present on its right hand side, and the result generated by that Boolean expression is complemented by the NOT operator. So if the expression has a false value, the NOT operator will convert that false into a true value, and if that expression has a true value, then the NOT logical operator will convert that true into a false value. So we have an expression not 3 less than 5. The NOT operator has one Boolean expression present on its right hand side, that is 3 is less than 5. So the expression 3 less than 5 gives a true value, but if we apply the NOT logical operator in front of the expression, then the final result generated by the compound expression will be false. So NOT operator will convert the true value given by 3 less than 5 into a false value as a result of the compound expression. Let's now take a look at it in practical so that you will understand it in a better way. So I'll write the statement select NOT 3 less than 5, and when I press enter, we get a result as 0. This is because 3 less than 5 will give a true value, but as we have written NOT logical operator before the expression, so the result of the expression will be converted into its complement. So the true value will be converted into false as the final result. So NOT logical operator complements the results. So if we had true value, it will give a false value, and if we had false, it will give true. Let's now take a look at another example. So I will write NOT 3 is equals to 5, and when we execute this command, we get 1, that is true. This is because we have written the expression 3 is equals to 5, which has a false value, but due to the NOT operator present in front of that expression, the false value is converted into true, and so the final result of the compound expression is true. Let's now take a look at another example. So I will write select NOT 5 greater than 4. Pause the video and think about the answer. So when I execute this command, I get the value as 0. This is because 5 greater than 4 has a true value, but due to NOT, it gets converted into false. Always remember that the NOT logical operator is present before the Boolean expression, and so it has the Boolean expression in its right hand side, and NOT logical operator can have only one Boolean expression with it and not more than that. Let's now take a look at another example. So I will write select NOT 5 greater than 4 and 10 is equals to 10. Here 5 greater than 4 and 10 is equals to 10 is one Boolean expression which is then associated with the not logical operator. Pause this video here and think about the answer it will give. So when I execute this command, it is giving 0, that is false. This is because 5 greater than 4 and 10 is equals to 10 is one Boolean expression covered in parenthesis. So it will be executed first. So when this Boolean expression is executed, it is giving a true value because 5 is greater than 4 is also true and 10 is equals to 10 is also a true, which are associated with and so it gives a true value as its final answer. And when this true value is operated upon by the not logical operator, then the final answer we get is false. Like this, we can mention multiple logical operators associated with each other in a single expression by covering them in parentheses according to their precedence or the way they should be executed. I think you have understood how the not operator works. Let's now take a look at another example of the not logical operator. So I will write select not 5. Pause the video here and think about the answer. So when I execute this command, it is giving 0. This is because we have given the expression as 5, and as 5 is a non-zero value, it is represented as a true in terms of Boolean. So true when operated upon by the not operator is converted into false, and so the final answer of not 5 is 0. Let's now take a look at another example, that is select not 0. Pause the video here and think about the answer it will give. So the answer given by the expression not 0 is 1. This is because 0 is a false value, and so when it is operated upon by the not operator, the false value is converted into true, and so we get 1. I think this much is sufficient for you to understand how the not operator works. You will have a clear idea once you practice it by yourself. You can combine different logical operators, different comparison operators together to form different types of Boolean expressions, different complex Boolean expressions, and then evaluate it by yourself. Then you will have a clear idea of how everything works. Let's now move on to our next operator, that is the like operator. So the like operator is a special logical operator of SQL which compares if its operand matches a particular pattern or not. So if the operand matches a certain pattern given to the like operator, then it returns a true, and otherwise it returns a false value. The like operator takes two operands on its either side. The operand on its left hand side is the value which we need to compare, and the operand on its right hand side is the pattern with which the value should be compared. So here we have a sample expression with the like operator in use. So we have hello like %o. So you can see that on the left hand side we have written hello. So hello is the value which we need to compare, and on the right hand side we have %o. So this one is the pattern with which hello should satisfy. So this expression will return true if hello matches the pattern specified by %o. So the main thing in the like operator is to understand which pattern is what. So here the pattern is %o. So percentage in like operator means anything which can be present on that side. So here we have written %o. This means o should be at the last, and before o there can be one or multiple characters present. So here in this expression, hello is checked for the pattern %o. So hello should end with an o with one or multiple characters present before the character o. So as we can see that hello matches the required condition that we are specifying. So this expression will return a true value. I will make up a separate video on the complete working and explanation of the like operator. But for now you just need to understand what like operator is and what are its functionalities. Let's now take a look at the like operator in MySQL so that you understand how it works. So I will write the exact same expression, that is select hello like %o. When I run this command, I get true, that is 1. This is because we have mentioned the pattern %o, and percentage stands for one or multiple characters, and as we have written percentage before o, so there can be one or multiple characters present before the character o in the operand, or you can say the value. So hello is the value we are giving to the like operator, and it has o at the end, and there can be one or multiple characters present before o according to our pattern. So this is also true for this case, so we are getting true. One thing you need to note here is that hello as well as %o both are between quotation marks. This is because both of them are varchar, or you can say text values. One more thing I need to say at this point is that SQL is case insensitive. So if I write this particular expression, that is select hello with o as uppercase, then also we get a true value irrespective of the case of the o present in hello and the o present in the pattern. So you can see that this also gives us a true value, so you don't need to worry about the case. You can be uppercase or it can be a lowercase value here. Let's now take a look at another expression. So I will write select hello like o %. This time the percentage sign is after o. I want you all to pause the video at this point and think about the answer. So when I press enter, it gives 0, that is false. This is because according to our pattern, o should be present at the start and there can be one or multiple characters present after o. And as this situation is not at all satisfied by the operand hello, so we are getting a false. Again, according to our pattern, o should be present at the beginning of the operand and there can be one or multiple characters present after o, which is not true for the operand we have given, as hello is our operand and it starts with h, and so we are getting a false value because it should have started with o as according to our pattern. Let's now take a look at another example. So we will write the expression hello like %e %. So we have written e between two percentages, and I want you all to pause the video at this point and think about the answer. So when I press enter, I get 1, that is true. This is because according to our pattern, there should be a character e present in the operand and there can be one or multiple characters present on its either side. So as according to our operand, we can see that in hello, e is present between different characters. So on its left hand side, there is h character, and on its right hand side, it has l, l and o characters. And as the operand hello satisfies the pattern we are giving to it, and therefore we get a true value. Let's take a look at one more example. So I will write select hello like ho %. I want you all to pause the video and think about the answer. So when I run this command, I get 0, that is false. This is because in our pattern I have mentioned ho and after that I have given a percentage sign. This means that the operand, or you can say the value, should start with ho and then after that there can be multiple characters. But as according to our operand, or you can say the value, we have he at the start but not ho, and this is because we are getting false value. And if we have written this particular command, that is select hello like he %, then we would have got true value. This is because in our pattern we are mentioning that the operand, or you can say the value, should start with HE, and after that there can be multiple characters, and this pattern is satisfied by the operand hello, because hello starts with HE and after that there are multiple characters present in it, so we are getting a true value. Like this, you can experiment upon it by using different operand values and different patterns and observe the answers given by them. Like operator is one of the most important SQL operators, so I want you all to study it and practice it more and more so that you become fluent with all of the different combinations which could be made by using the like operator. Let's now move on to our last but not the least logical operator, that is the between operator. This is also an important SQL operator and it has a bit different operation as compared to the other logical operators that we have studied till now. So the between operator checks for an operand to be present between a range of given values. So on the left hand side, the between operator takes an operand which is to be checked to be present in a range, and on the right hand side it takes an expression which consists of an AND operator, and this is the range of values which we are going to compare the first operand with. And this AND operator is not the logical AND operator that we have studied, but this one has a special meaning to the between operator. So take a look at this sample expression that says 5 between 1 and 10. So 1 and 10 is the range of values that says 1 to 10, and 5 is the value which is to be checked to be present between this range. So as 5 is exactly present between 1 and 10, so this particular expression that is present on the screen will return a true value. So the between operator checks if an operand is within the range of the comparisons. So and if it is, then it will return true, and otherwise it will return false. One more thing you need to note at this point is that when you are specifying the range of the between operator, then you need to give the lower bound of the range first and then the upper bound of the range. This is because the between operator first executes the statement 5 greater equal to the lower bound and 5 less than equal to the upper bound, and if this particular expression returns true, then only the value of the between operator will be true, otherwise it will be false. Let's now understand it in practical so that you get it in a better way. So I'll write the expression 5 between 1 and 10, and when I enter, then I get the value as 1, that is true. This is because 5 is greater equal to 1 and 5 is less than equal to 10. This is why we are getting a true value. Let's now take a look at another expression. So I will write select 5 between 10 and 1, and when I press enter, this time we are getting 0, that is false. But as you can say by looking at the expression, the technical value should be true, but we are getting false. This is because 5 is greater equals to 10, but this is not true, and also 5 is less than equals to 1. This is also false, and because of which the working of the between operator is giving a false result. So we are getting 0, or you can say false, as our final answer. You can relate it with the working that I had explained just before the practical implementation of the between operator. Let's now take a look at another example. So I will write select 5 between 5 and 10. This time I am getting true, that is 1. This is because 5 is greater equals to 5 and 5 is less than equals to 10. These both of the expressions combined with the AND operator gives true value, and hence we are getting 1 as our final result. Let's now take a look at another example. So I will write select 5 between 5 and 5. So this time also I am getting 1. This is because according to the working of the between operator, the compound expression that is generated gives a true value, because 5 is greater equals to 5. Also 5 is less than equals to 5 according to the lower and the upper bounds, and so we are getting 1 that is true as our final result. You can compare it by using different operands and the different range of values by specifying it yourself and then observing the values you are getting. Your efficiency will completely depend upon the amount of time you give it in practice. So I recommend you all to practice more and more so that it gets more and more easier and efficient for you to get the answers. There are some more operators present in SQL, but I doubt if they are present in your syllabus or not. I want you all to do some work and find out how many other operators are present in your syllabus, and then I'll make up a separate video on its complete working and explanation. You can send me a DM on Instagram, or you can comment them down in the comment section of this particular video, and I'll get to you as soon as possible. If you have anything to say about this video or any other video of mine, then you can comment them down in the comment section, or you can send me a DM on Instagram. I'll try to get to you as soon as possible. And I hope everything that I have taught in this session is clear to you. I'll make up separate videos on how to use these all operators that I have taught in this video with the exact or with the actual SQL tables. So don't worry about that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.